Hello friends, welcome back. Hope you are doing great. Today's session that is about political, social and legal implications of IPM. Let's see the contents. Before moving forward, first quickly revise the last session. During last session, we studied safety issues of pesticide spraying. Now, that is introduction of the topic, then what are different issues in adoption of IPM, then what are different strategies for adoption, then last that is summary. So, in case of introduction, what is implication? Implication means effect or consequences or conclusion, and here it is issues or constraints in adoption of IPM. What are different constraints in IPM implementation? There are around 5 constraints. In that, first one institutional, second informational, third sociological, fourth economic, political. Let's see one by one. First one, that is institutional constraint. Regarding approach, IPM require interdisciplinary, multifunctional approach, and there is a fragmentation between research, extension, implementation, and between institutes. And lack of policy commitment, it is in case of agriculture, then low priority is given for IPM from the national programs, then research do not address the real need of farmers. Next one, that is informational constraint. Regarding IPM information, there is a lacuna among the people, that is then proper knowledge, that is identification of pest or disease, then the life cycle, timing and method of treatment, then lack of skills, training material, technical guidance of experienced teachers, then quality of biocontrol agent, it also plays a very important role. Next one, that is sociological constraint. Pesticide industry has created status or trend among the farmers that chemicals are highly effective and easy to apply because their objective is promoting pesticides. Then public and private sector extension worker do not work in complementary manner. People lack faith in IPM, and there are also some socio-psychological characters, that is age, education, farm size, etc. They exert the influence on adoption, so people feel risky to adopt IPM. Next one, that is economic constraint. Funds for the research, extension and farmers training are not sufficient. Then majority of farmers, they purchase pesticides on credit, while some depend on agro dealers for management of the crop in case of crop protection, and government also don't provide subsidy for IPM. Then political constraint, there is low status of plant protection workers in administrative hierarchy, and financial standing is also not worthy. There should be strong policy environment in context of IPM, and government provide the pesticide subsidy due to some political reasons, and its tie up with the government provided credit for the crop production. So these about the constraints. Next is the what are different strategies for IPM implementation. There are 5 strategies. First one, farmers participation. Next, government support. Third, legislative measures. Fourth, improved institutional infrastructure. Fifth, improved awareness. So first, farmers participation. Earlier, farmers participation was more, but later due to invent of modern high techniques, farmers get displaced from the research, and this reduced farmers participation and creates environmental and ecological problems. And now in IPM, farmers participation, it plays important role, and because uh, he is at center of development process, only he knows local condition and problems. In case of government support, government support in context of policy commitment is necessary. Government should promote IPM. A law should be made against pesticides which do not meet prescribed standard of safety, etc. For making IPM attractive alternative, government should eliminate the pesticide subsidies and that save the funds may be used for IPM. Then government should provide the monetary benefits to the agency which promote or support the IPM program. Next one, legislative measures. Why it is important? Due to the environment and ecological loss. Then for smooth running of IPM, some legal measures should be followed. There are free riders, that means some who gets advantages without paying for it. Then a vigorous network of registration, legislation, standard, training, monitoring and information system should be established. Then in case of improved institutional infrastructure, for plant protection, basic infrastructure is needed. Also on-farm testing is important for coordinating and monitoring funding of IPM. IPM working group should be established. Then between different components, coordination of effort is must. Reliable database is lacking. Next one, improved awareness. It is also important factor. Policymakers, farmers and consumers should be given education, then awareness about IPM. Convince policymakers, farmers regarding sustainability due to IPM. Also in public, create awareness regarding organic products that are healthy. Next, that is development of market. How products reach to consumers. The products reach to consumers through a series of informational or informal channels. Local village market, then weekly or bi-weekly market, etc. Consumers, they are becoming aware about the low pesticide residue product and they prefer that standard and label product. In Western countries, market for the organic products is developing rapidly, and in India, it should be developed and maintained. Then, in case of export, or particularly for export, residue-free products these are preferred since these products these are more pesticide sensitive. So we studied political, social, legal implication, constraints in IPM, and what are different strategies for adoption of IPM. Thanks for attention. Take care.